The talk to and about God in the Hebrew Bible fascinates me. The authors in the Tanakh know how to praise God in different ways, as for instance in the deeds of creation. To take one example, Marbu Ma'asecha Adonai. They do also know to praise God in his salvation from Egypt. The question is, what would authors in the Bible do on times of defeat, on times of national subjugation, on times of crisis? How would they explain to themselves and to their contemporaries the roles of God in times of distress? In my book, Voices from the Ruins, The Odyssey and the Fall of Jerusalem in the Hebrew Bible, I presented and studied the broad question, what did the Judeans, prophets, kings, historiographers, poets, and anonymous voices of the people say about their God, the God of Israel, in face of the grave national catastrophe by the early 6th century BCE. This was the time of the destruction of the temple, the fall of Jerusalem, and the capture of King Zedekiah in 586 BCE. Events that brought to a tragic end over 400 years of the Davidic dynasty's reign and sealed the crushing defeat of the kingdom of Judah at the hands of the forces of the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II, and followed by several waves of deportation to Babylonia. Hebrew Bible texts of the early 6th century reflect diverse biblical-speaking voices, from vindications of God's actions to expressions of doubt or protest against him. All of them, including those who protest directly in second-person singular, as in Lamentations 2, Tavachta lo chamalta, it is you who slaughtered us, you did not have compassion, it is you, God, who did it, are all motivated by the shared and pious wish to justify God in the face of the national catastrophe. More important to realize is that all are legitimate, courageous ways to speak to and about God in the Hebrew Bible. Coming from that basic motivation and piety, authors often find no way to justify God in the atrocities. Rather, they cry out in protest. My research has shed light on this biblical talk that happens to be very painful and more courageous than usually found in later post-biblical Jewish and Christian sources, including those of the 20th century post-Shoah religious reflections. I can only hope that each and every one of you will find interest in reading more about this rich, lively, painful, pious, and courageous Hebrew Bible God talk.